Good afternoon and welcome to this brief conversation about our girls in the diaspora. My name is Aunty Etima. Nice to meet you if you're meeting me for the first time. I am your girls coach. Yes, I'm your Empower Girls coach. My assignment is to ensure that all our girls are empowered to fulfill their purpose. Yes, and to live a great, successful, and most importantly, fulfilling life. This is that time you want to call someone around you who has a daughter, and especially the one who lives outside Nigeria or outside the African setting or continent. Okay, this is that time where you want to um, follow on the conversation so that you have something inspiring, motivating, and helpful to share with that mother or father who is struggling with their daughters abroad. Because sometimes they don't know where or how to get help, and they just come complaining and whining and talking to us as friends or family members about their daughter's struggles or their own struggles as parents to these girls. You should have something helpful if I may put it that way, to share with them. I'm pleased to be here on YouTube and of course on Instagram. Last week we talked about how our daughters are feeling lonely, how it is they are easily bullied, how they do not like they're not comfortable about their hair texture, their skin color, and all that. Today we're going to be talking about how our daughters have changed. Some people actually feel like this can be my daughter. Like, seriously, was she exchanged at the airport? Was she exchanged in her school? Was she exchanged in this environment? You just feel like this is not the daughter you knew being in Nigeria. For some of them, they were born there, but it looks like when they get into teenage, they were exchanged on their 10th birthday. Like, I don't understand. My daughter is suddenly so strange. Why the drastic change? These are facts, these are truths, these are experiences that we cannot deny. To sit down and think that the way your daughter has always been is the way she will continue to be is to be deceiving ourselves and to be amongst men most miserable. I like to speak the truth. I like to just say it as it is. Hello, Ekia Gorom. I hope I got that right. I see you live on Instagram. Aha, I see Mrs. Nsiabasi Samuel. Good to see you here, and to all the super mothers of my queen daughters, special shout out to you. So let's hop into the brief conversation that we have for today. Okay. Why is it that my daughters have changed? What is causing the change? What can I do about the change, etc.? For me, I think the conversation should be both ways. I think the conversation should be both ways. Yeah, it should be for those that are already in the new, or we call it host country, and the ones that are about to come in. Let's prepare our girls. Let me talk especially to the ones that are yet to move in, or the one that have just recently moved in. If you made the error, sorry, but maybe you can still try to correct it. Many times we do not prepare our daughters for the new environment. We don't prepare them for the challenge that is coming. We assume that, oh, because this country now has light, this country has new roads, clean roads, better, government, better environment, neighborhood, and all that. It's going to be totally fine with our daughters. No, your dynamics and theirs is different. Your indices and theirs is different. What you're looking for, what they're looking for is totally different. So please just get it clear that while you are happy at this new environment, your daughter is probably not, and I'm sure you don't know why. So that's why we trivialize the place of preparation. You don't prepare her for the new environment mentally, you don't prepare her emotionally, you don't prepare her physically, spiritually, nothing. You just assume that, okay, this is a better school, standard is higher, you should be okay. No, she cannot be okay. You need to let her know. I remember, I don't know if I've shared this, how one of my mentees was sharing with me. I shared it last week. How she went to school in Lagos. She went to school in Lagos in the morning, and by night or by the next morning she was in another country. She couldn't deal. Of course she cried. Her parents just felt like, okay, we're just the process. But if that girl starts to rebel, if that girl starts to react negatively to you as her parents, to her environment, the new place she's in, you call her a child that has changed, right? You didn't used to be like this. You didn't used to talk back. Something is eating her, something is biting her. The process of moving, the process of just uprooting her from here and planting her somewhere else, transplanting, is not going down well with her. And usually when girls don't know what to do with how they feel like they are losing control. Mothers, we like to control. Our daughters are exactly like us. I hope we know. You see that your daughter will respond or react negatively because she was not properly prepared. She was not properly prepared. So let her start to understand that, okay, we're going to go to a new country, or we're moving homes, or we're moving cities. In this new place, people might not like you at the beginning. The things you're going to meet, they are going to be strange. Like, have those conversations, which brings me to my second point. Keep your communication lines open. Parents, please allow your daughters to ask you questions, to question your decision. If you say, oh, we're moving countries, allow her say, mommy, why? No, we don't have a problem, we live in our own home. Da, 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 da. Don't say, who are you? In my days I could not try this rubbish. You're going to shut her down. Create that open, non-judgmental, non-critical environment for your daughters. The more open it is, the more open they will be. Some parents go and tell their daughters, whatever is disturbing you, tell me, tell me, tell me. But meanwhile, you relocated without letting her know. You changed her school without letting her know. You took all these decisions, you did not let her know, especially if she's a teenager. And then you want her to be open. How? Why? She needs to understand why you're making certain choices. I'm not saying she needs to be happy about the choices. Please don't get me wrong. I didn't say you should ask your children, we are relocating, do you, should we or not? I didn't say so. I'm saying that it should help her understand why you are making these choices. You should speak to her about it before the time is due. You should let her suggest, you should let her contribute. That's what starts making her mentally prepared, because she feels like she's a part of the process. Don't just bring it ta-da as a surprise to her. I noticed that many times the girls that parents come to me to complain about, that are rebellious in quote, stubborn in quote, they are girls that have not been listened to, girls that have not felt heard. Trust me. Those same girls, when we work with them on project and stuff, they are like the leaders in the setting, in the community, in the groups. You're not just harnessing your daughter's qualities, her strength. The fact that she's not backing down, she's not easily agreeing, means that could be a sign that she's a leader, that she's choleric. It's a strength that is not being harnessed. Okay. The next one will be empathic. Understand that adaptation could be hard. You are struggling, ma. Sir, you are struggling. Why are you now putting up that front? Like, come on, come off it. We have been here for 6 months. Can't you snap out of it? No, she cannot snap out of it. Not just yet. So let her know that you understand the struggles that she's having. I've had girls at the diaspora class, or at one-on-one sessions, say that they still miss their friends back home even after 2 years. Yes, some of them hide to cry. You don't understand, right? You can't. So I need us to be empathic. I need us to understand that um adaptation change generally while growing up as a young girl could be tough. First of all, even meeting the new people, trying to understand the identity. Is this a part of me? Am I a part of them? The peer influences, the diversity in the cultural exploration and experiences, everything is coming on this girl at the same time. It could be tough. Please, can we be empathic? I had a session with a parent one time and she was saying, I've been telling her she should not back down. She should know who she is. She should. Meanwhile, by the time the mother left, this girl was crying. She was so broken. So you don't even see that your daughter is breaking at the brink of the pressure. You don't see that she's not settled. You don't see that she's struggling, that she's feeling less. And trust me, being in another country could be one of the toughest things that could happen to anybody because of the way they make you feel. They make you feel less. Remember, girls naturally struggle with feelings of inadequacy and insecurity. That's why it seems that it's worse. So you're saying to her, but your brother just even came and your brother has already settled in. She's not your son. Please, dear parents, did you get that? Your daughter is not your son. She's not like your son. Your son is more likely to settle in quickly and move on, not your daughter, not just yet. So I want us to give grace. I want us to give our daughters grace. There are two different personalities, two different genders. They're going to respond differently. Okay, the next thing we can do is help them balance, you know, old school and new school, if I might use the phrase. Help them balance tradition and modernity. Yes. So the old cultural traditions, for example, the way they greet, um, the phrases they use, I mean the vocabulary they use, their mannerism and everything, the respectful culture, for example, especially if you're Nigerian, and the new culture, the new modern life of hi. Instead of saying hi Jim, they can say hi Mr. Jim, at least put Mr. You think it's, sorry to use the word, funky, okay, to just be yopi yopi yopi. You don't know that your daughter having to flip over to become like this is a big deal. Some of us feel like our daughters are very okay with the Western culture of being modern. You don't know that they are shocked. You don't know they are shocked. I know how many times my girls have said that, Auntie Etima, when I saw this girl, okay, so recently we're having a conversation in one of the groups in the girls' home. I think that's the undergraduate group. And we're talking about, the way Valentine is celebrated in Nigeria, the way Valentine is celebrated out there in the UK. I think that conversation was from someone in the UK. We're also talking about how the whole dating experience is with Nigeria versus the UK and all that. And one of the girls was saying, Tetima, the way they can just stay in the middle of nowhere and just start kissing in class. Like young people, oh, some of them are younger than me. I don't understand it. You're saying things like, oh, that's how they do it here. Your daughter is not okay with how they do it there. No, she's not. You think she's used to it, to watching people kiss on the road. She's not okay with it. So you need to help her balance what she's saying, balance what she's experiencing. Help her with that, please. Help her understanding that, okay, in our country, in our continent, we date when we're in our 20s. Here, they date when they're in their tens and when they're in their teens. Help her balance it. Don't tell her that, oh, okay, where we are now, we so that we are not left out. Let us please consider or reconsider the value system that we set in place. You know that while in Nigeria you had a media plan. In that media plan, nobody in your home gets a phone or personal devices until they are 18 or 17 or 16. You come here and you're like, no, in this part of the world, ah, please, oh, everybody has their device at 8. Do you know you're pulling that girl down? Recently, one of my girls, the girls of her mother brought her matter to my table. The girl wants to be on Snapchat at, is it 11 or 10? The mother talked and this is where you see that you need mentors. You need parenting partners, people like Aunty Etima. You need them in your life. And this girl was having none of it. And so her mother brought the matter and said, this is your queen daughter, and this is what she's saying. I had to do a brief session with her. And after the session, her mother asked her, so what do you think? She said, oh well, I don't quite really get it, but it's fine. I'll be fine with it for now. She didn't want to tell her mother that, okay, this is the same thing you have been said that Etima has said, though. You guys sha don't want me to have this, to be on this Snapchat for now. It's okay, I'll deal with it. I will be fine. That was her attitude. But at least there is peace. There is a balance. I said, okay, so if you don't want to wait till 18 and your parents, okay, so this is what we can do, this is what we can do, this is what we can do. Even before you get to it, you must be ready to be on social media. These criteria must be met. Even if your parents are considering reviewing the age, this criteria must be met. What are we doing? We are balancing. Balancing is really, really key. The fifth one would be setting boundaries with our flexibility. Many times we're too hard. I did not say you should not be disciplined though. I just said you should please um find a way, you know, find a way to be flexible. I didn't say be passive, I said be flexible. Create that goal that you want to create room for your daughters to be themselves. I noticed non-authenticity a lot in our girls in the diaspora. It's like we're trying to put them in a box, fix them in that box. Let's cut them some slack. Oh, I'm not saying they shouldn't respect family values. Why not? Family values comes first before anything. But allow them to also enjoy the new face, the new environment that they are in. Sometimes we are too uptight. Oh, I want my daughter to come and be like the daughters of the land. Instead of saying that, why don't you go and build their capacity to stand out, to be different from the daughters of the land? Why don't you do that? Why don't you create new systems? For example, if I would be living in the diaspora, I'm going to up my accountability game because I cannot hold my daughters down. Sit here, stand here, and do this, or you can't do this unless I say so. Instead of doing that, why don't you, build their capacity to hold on to what is right, regardless of whether we are there as parents or not? Why don't you create a solid accountability system that will hold her responsible, hold her accountable, regardless of where she finds herself and who is there and who is watching? Why don't we do that? If we do that, your daughters begin to trust you more. I remember, so my daughter is not in the diaspora, but yeah, she is in the higher institution. And I remember that while she was doing her gap year with us, and we were creating, we're trying to build that trust. We use the gap year as an opportunity to build trust, her trust in us, especially me as her mother. I was very intentional about it. Initially, it was looking like punishment. But now my daughter has come to that point where she trusts me that, before she's taking a key step, she's running it by me. Not just for my input, but just because she believes that, okay, my mom will be able to offer a solution that is worthy of my doing or my following. My mom is somehow, you know, helpful, contributory to my life. Before she goes to exam, she's calling me. I did not ask her to call me. Oh. I did not ask her. Sometimes she call me, I'm like, yeah, okay, okay. Oh. I didn't ask her to. But what has happened over the years or over time, over this 1 year plus, she has seen me as someone that she can trust. See, girls and trust is key. Those of us that are refusing to connect with our daughters, those of us that are always at loggerhead, everything is like fight, everything is like do as I say, you're missing out on trust building opportunities. Sometimes I allow her. Somebody was asking a question recently to me. I said, Aunty Etima, what if we allow, okay, we are telling these teenagers, if it was a teen mentor, we're telling teenagers not to date and they're still going ahead to date. What can we do? I say, you will leave them. You will leave them. As long as you have done the part, you've done your part, you will let them be. Do you know how many times my daughter said to me, Mommy, you were right? Those were trust building opportunities right there. Mommy, you were right. Hey, I should have listened to you. Oh. That's it. You think I was happy that she was not going my way? I was not happy, but I just said, oh, she needs to learn. And I need to show her that indeed I'm her voice of reasoning, voice of counsel, voice of wisdom. It was painful. It looked like I was weak. Sometimes it looked like I didn't know what I was doing. But it's paying off today. Do you know how many times my daughter has said, Mommy, what do you think about this? This time last year it was not like that. This time last year it was like, no, let me try, let me flex, let me. So it's a price that we have to pay. It's a price that we have to pay. At the end of it all, we get the opportunity to celebrate their achievement, their interest, their cultural identity because they have been left to soar, to be themselves. All right, finally, what can you do? Please encourage your daughters to be connected to their mentors. I don't understand why a girl in the diaspora does not have mentor. Why? How? How? Who do you want her to express her to be vulnerable with? Who do you want her to express her fears to, her struggles with? I just finished having a one-on-one session with one of my queen daughters in the US. And she was just sharing, she was like, Atetima, I have this struggle, I need you to help me. So that tomorrow you don't come and say, why have you changed? This is not how you were before. Well, right now she has this struggle, she has this trouble. But she doesn't have anybody to talk to. She doesn't have anybody to look up to because sometimes it's not just about talking to. Who can they look up to? Have you pointed them towards those people? When I see people that I feel that my daughter should follow, I send it to her. I tell her about it. Look at this person, look at what this person is doing. Sometimes we follow the person together. That well, the person is role modeling us together. Am I not a woman? She's my gender now. So I'm like, let's look at this person. We have the same fashion role model, we have the same impact role model, we have, I didn't force her, I just ran it by hand. All of a sudden she's like, Mommy, did you see what is our model did? You see what is our role model? Did you see what is our mentor did? That is why the foundation of this whole thing is building a relationship with your daughter. See this fight you are fighting, after fighting, reconcile. Reconcile, because the time that you will enjoy your daughter is not now. It's when she's 17, when she's 18, when she has left home. That's when you will know that to have a good relationship with your daughter is one of the greatest blessings on earth. By the way, it's Valentine weekend this Friday. This weekend, this week like this is Valentine. What are your plans for your daughters? Somebody like abeg Aunty Etima, you put your own is too much. Is it not for couples? The boys have plans too, ma. The boys, they have plans. They have plans. They have been planning since. You are just coming now. You are late. So you better run. If you're in the girls' hub, you don't even have option. If you're not, I'm just advising. You can take my advice or not. If you are in the girls' hub, you don't have option. Ma, sir, listen to my voice note. The two of them I sent last week. Go back and listen to them. You will do Valentine for your daughters. Yes, so very important. We know what we are doing. We know what we are doing. We are gaining access to their hearts so that when it's tough or when there's distance or when there's adverse circumstances, they know that they have us. They know they have our shoulders to lean on, our chest to lie on, our time to count on, our personalities. They know they have us. Okay, so Remember that we have our course coming up this weekend. Yes, we have our Girls in the Diaspora course coming up this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. And then, of course, there's a 1 month support system. Every weekend, we're going to be supporting your daughters in one way or the other. I hope you have registered. Late registration begins on Friday morning. So all these people that when we are teaching in class, ma, can I still pay for the course? Can I pay for the course? We pay late registration. It's 20K. Meanwhile, you can be paying 12.5 if you're in the girls' hub, or 15.5 if you're not in the girls' hub. And you'll be paying 20K as at Saturday morning. Thank you so much for joining. You want to still tag your friends or your loved ones or anybody you know who lives in the diaspora, is about to relocate to the diaspora, but is of Nigerian or African heritage. Thank you again and again. I don't take your time for granted. God bless you and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.